So the final offer price for my Nilad IPO is 15 pesos per share. So if interested lang kayo sa IPO details of my Nilad, click the timestamp over here so you can skip to that part of the video. But if you stay, you will learn about how I do my research and prepare for an IPO. That includes the research process, how I read the prospectus, what information I need from the prospectus, and including the final decision whether to buy or to pass in the IPO. Research is not for everyone. It's not even for me, really. But because I want to be informed when I make investment decisions, hindi uubra ang katamaran. The other side of the coin is doing too much naman. Did you just read the entire 600 pages of a prospectus? Congratulations sa'yo, pero hindi yan ang gusto kong gawin. I think that's not the best way to spend my time. Makikita nyo to, 600 pages lahat to. Hindi nyo kailangan lahat yan. After 8 years of stock market investing, maraming IPO prospecti na akong nabasa. Pero as the years go by, I realized that the way I read this document has completely changed. Number of shares. Who really cares about that at this stage? If hindi technical analysis ang ginagawa mo to check whether the IPO offer price is too high, then this is just noise. There are 3 things that I realized na hindi ko kailangan malaman agad-agad. First would be number of shares. Primary, secondary, plus yung over-allotment in case of oversubscription. Hindi ko kailangan malaman yan. That's just noise. Second, strengths of the company. Sure, it would be definitely good to know about this later. But for now, since this is my first pass of the prospectus, hindi ko kailangan malaman yan. Finally, dividends policy. Hindi ito mahalaga sa akin kasi I'm not after the dividends right now. And maybe it's safe to assume na nobody is after the dividends kapag IPO. People would generally be after the growth and the potential for growth and expansion of the company. That's why they invest in an IPO. They participate in the IPO. You may not agree with these 3 points, but that's okay. This is my process. I'm just letting you into my crazy mind, into my research process. Ito yung 6 items na kailangan kong malaman and will help me decide if I want to participate in the IPO. Dates, offer price, finances, use of proceeds, risks, competition. We will be talking about the Maynilad IPO as an example, pero you should know that this could be applied to any IPO in the future. The first time I read or at least skim the initial prospectus, available na kaagad itong 6 items. I acknowledge that this prospectus may not be the final version, but that's completely okay. Sometimes you spend 30 minutes reading the prospectus only to realize na maling document pala ang binabasa mo. Ito yung 6 items na binanggit ko kanina, 6 information that I want to know from the prospectus. Merong good news, merong bad news. The bad news is hindi ko ma-access yung prospectus. I cannot find a copy of the PDF. Hinanap ko na sa PSE Edge. Ang available lang doon for download is the offer terms sheet. Ito yung good news. So may 18 pages of basic information. Tingnan natin in the next videos kung mag-improve or magkakaroon ako ng access sa prospectus. Mas interesting yun kasi makikita ko yung use of proceeds section, risks, and competition. Okay, 1 week na nakalipas. Today is October 21 and nakuha na natin yung final offer price ng Manila. Nakuha ko na rin yung full prospectus. So I'm now going to complete the research for our 6 data points na kailangan. Last time wala tayong financial reports, wala tayong risks, and wala tayong competition. Actually, use of proceeds, yun pala. Ito yung pinakamalaga for now, for me. And fortunately, yung bagong prospectus or yung full prospectus nandito na. Yung use of proceeds. So I'm excited to look into this and I'll report back to you guys later. So nakapag-notes na ako ng konti about the use of proceeds. It's pretty interesting to say the least. I'll tell you all about it later. Pero for now, I just want to give a quick tip kung paano magbasa ng use of proceeds section. Usually, pag nagbabasa tayo ng use of proceeds, or ako pag nagbabasa, Yung first part is not too interesting. They talk about how much they will get gross revenue saka net revenue when, well, yung first case scenario is makuha lahat ng primary and secondary shares. Second option naman is kapag yung over-allotment ay kompleto rin, exercised in full, magkano yung makukuha nila. And then after that, there will be boring expenses like documentations, legal fees, audit fees, trading participants, what I mean. So, ang ibig sabihin yan, yung mga brokers na nag-participate, babayaran nila lahat yan. Ang mas interesting na part ay yung, let's scroll down, this part. So, ito yung mga ni-notes ko. Quick tip lang yan. Let's continue researching. Okay, so personally, itatry ko pong magpa-reserve ng my NILAD shares using my broker, AAA Equities. And yung 6 data points na ipapakita ko in this next section will help you understand kung bakit tumaas yung confidence ko sa pag-invest, sa pag-participate in this IPO. Siyempre, may guardrails pa rin tayo. We still follow some rules around asset allocation, ilang percentage lang nung portfolio ko ay yung ilalagay ko dito. All of that to say na hindi ko alam yung circumstances nyo. Huwag nyo akong gagayahin. I'm just a random guy on the internet. Please do your own research. The planned date to finalize the offer price for Maynilad was October 20, pero na-miss nila yung deadline na to. Morning na October 21 na post sa PSE Edge website. Hindi natin alam kung sino yung na-late, yung pag-post ba ng PSE Edge or yung pag-submit ng Maynilad. Next set of important dates, October 23 to October 29. Your broker should be emailing you about this offer soon, just like the previous emails from the previous IPOs. So the final offer price for Maynilad IPO is 15 pesos per share. Normal lang naman na mas mababa talaga sa initial ceiling price, which is 20 pesos per share, yung magiging final offer price. Normal na yan. Huwag na kayo magulat dyan. Ang interesting part sa Maynilad IPO na to is merong interested institutional investors. And I think nagkaroon ng factor yung condition nila to invest in Maynilad doon sa final price. So possible na naging story dito is yung executives, they really wanted those institutional investors to invest in Maynilad, kaya nila nilagay sa 15 pesos per share. That's just speculation, pero we have a final offer price. Yung two institutional investors na yan ay International Finance Corporation and Asian Development Bank. Both of which committed to invest $245 million into Maynilad's IPO. Ayan nga, if the price did not exceed 15 pesos. Apart from those institutional investors, the United Kingdom government is apparently also interested in the IPO. Well, at least they are pledging their support. Hindi natin alam kung may financial support na ibibigay yung United Kingdom government. So instead of boring you guys with the financial summary table, i-discuss lang natin yung EBITDA or the earnings before interest, taxes, what's the depreciation and amortization. The EBITDA margin increased from 57.8% to 69.4%. Annualized amount yan for 2025, which is exceptionally high. Yung mga usual benchmarks, they tell us na 10 to 30% lang yung usual range ng EBITDA. Siyempre, higher is better. Pero kitang-kita nyo naman na nasa high 50s and high 60s consistently yung EBITDA ng Maynilad. Pretty good. So, number 4, use of proceeds. Let's talk about the capital expenditures. Ito lang yung big umbrella kung saan papasok lahat ng paggagamitan nila. Nung proceeds na makukuha from the secondary shares, primary shares, and over-allotment kung magkaroon ng oversubscription. Quoting directly from the prospectus, the CAPEX program of Maynilad has 3 major pillars: water, wastewater, and customer service and information system projects. Isa-isahin natin. Under water CAPEX, meron silang 4 na nilista: water sources and treatment, operations support, NRW management, and finally service expansion, which is on the southern part of the west zone. Second one naman, wastewater capex, provision of sewerage services, compliance with wastewater standards, or in other words, sanitation, and offering of septic and sanitation cleaning services. Yung last one, yung customer service and information system projects capex. Ito yung pinaka-interesting for me, especially yung first item na investment in ITS, GIS, telemetry system, and support requirements. Itatry na Maynilad na mag-modernize nung systems nila, nung tools na ginagamit nila, and I think this is a really good investment. Ipapakita ko yung risks na ni-notes ko from the prospectus. There are more than 30 risks. And napagod na akong maglista, mag-copy-paste from the prospectus into my own notes. So, i-highlight ko na lang yung mga interesting parts for me. Let's start with this one. Severe weather conditions, climate variability patterns. Nire-recognize lang nila na volatile yung weather ng Pilipinas. So, kung maapektuhan, kung magkaroon ng typhoons, and lagi naman nagkakaroon ng typhoons, maapektuhan yung services nila. Next, we are subject to significant and extensive regulation and supervision. Kung may failure to obtain and maintain the licenses and permits, malaking epekto sa services nila kasi essentially frozen sila. They can't do anything. We may not successfully implement our capital expenditures program. Hindi naman yan unique. Ang prospectus is just a plan. And not every prospectus, not every plan is executed properly. Meron ng ibang IPOs in the past na they even included the schedule kung kailan nila planong gamitin yung CAPEX for their specific programs. Pero after a few years, hindi pa rin nila nagagamit yung mga capital, yung mga proceeds na nakuha nila from the IPO. So this is just standard. Ability to successfully develop and implement new technologies. So I guess this is related to the use of proceeds na nabanggit kanina na pag-modernize ng system ng Maynilad. Kung hindi daw successful yung implementation, so posibleng mali yung talents na nakuha nila, mali yung plan, or for any other reason, it will just affect their services, it will affect their revenue, their profitability. We rely on third parties including contractors and suppliers. Medyo sensitive topic ito in the past few months. Contractors plus water services. Alam niyo yung tinutukoy ko? Baka ma-discourage yung ibang tao from investing here kasi nga sensitive topic siya. And we don't like being attached or being associated with controversial topics. So baka bumaba yung demand. But I'm just speculating. Our operations consume significant amounts of electricity. Maikli yan pero it says a lot pag tumaas yung bill nila sa kuryente, or actually hindi, kung pareho pa rin yung konsumo nila, pero tumaas yung rate, then bababa yung revenue, bababa yung income. And that's just reality. Hindi natin alam kung kaya nilang mag-secure ng contracts with their third-party providers for electricity, but that's a risk for them. A significant percentage of our business operations and facilities are concentrated in and around Metro Manila. Ito yung tinatawag na concentration risk kung hindi masyadong diverse yung geographical region na sineservice mo, kung magkaroon ng typhoon, magkaroon ng emergency, any other reason na apektado yung buong region na yon, then saan ka kukuha ng bagong sources of your revenue? Yung services mo, titigil. And then finally, yung political instability in the Philippines may have a negative effect. So isipin natin yung dalawang parties ngayon na naglalaban. Hindi ako masyadong aware sa day-to-day na nangyayari between the two, sabihin na lang natin na political families. Ayoko nang banggitin, baka ma-demonetize tayo dito. Kung magkaroon ng instability, it will definitely affect the Philippine economy. Tapos mag-trickle yan to other private and public companies. So that's a risk they are highlighting here. And then finally, competition. Merong two ways to research competition. Yung first way is to look directly in the prospectus. Yung other way is to look at PSE Edge. Discuss muna natin yung first one. Sa Maynilad prospectus, wala raw silang major competition in the principal area of operation in the West Zone. By the way, yung West Zone, ililista ko na lang dito, over here. Tapos kayo nang bahalang bumasa. Yung second way naman to find out kung sino yung mga public companies na nasa service sector and specifically water sector, you can just use the advanced search feature to look for companies that would be in the same sector or subsector. For our example today, Maynilad would be under the industrial sector, water subsector. So yan ang ilalagay natin sa search parameters. Results show na MWC or Manila Water Company lang ang pinakamalapit na competition. Are they serving the same geographical region? Hindi po. Hindi siya direct competitor ng Maynilad. So in short, walang direct competition yung Maynilad. Hopefully may naitulong po ako sa research process nyo, hindi lang sa Maynilad IPO, kundi sa future IPOs na rin. You can like this video para mas mabilis nyo mabalikan in case of future IPOs. And if you reached this part, comment a water emoji and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!